Well, it's nearing October, aka the most wonderful time of the year, which means more content for your eye holes.
I thought you said this was a shelter.
It is.
Looks like a house.
My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To is directed by Jonathan Huertas. It stars Patrick Fugit, Ingrid Sophie Schramm, and Owen Campbell, and it tells the story of siblings Dwight and Jesse, who are trapped in a toxic, codependent relationship with one another as the only guardians of their younger brother Thomas, whose sickness is pretty extreme and requires him regularly being fed human blood to survive. It's been a while since I've talked about any quiet, contemplative, slice-of-life indie horror on this channel. About time I fixed that. My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, mouthful of the title that it is the kind of movie I would have reviewed in a heartbeat a few years back when I could devote more of my time to YouTube, and I just can't do that anymore, sadly. This movie came out a while ago, and I finally got to watch it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a bleak, emotionally charged indie horror flick with heavy dramatic roots, and I really appreciated it for what it was and the honesty of it. This is essentially a vampire film where the vampirism is mostly relegated to the background. It's the catalyst for the film's plot, but it is not the focus of the film. Jonathan Huertas instead chooses to frame this film around the toxic, manipulative, and sometimes abusive relationship between the two older siblings, Dwight and Jesse, both of whom are dedicated to a fault to keeping Thomas alive. You know, that just means being willing to keep him fed with blood that they get from murdering people who they feel society won't miss. It's not the most ethically sound, but this relationship isn't the most healthy thing in the world, and none of this is normal. It's really a harrowing situation to explore this type of relationship through. The emotional toll of it is greatly explored through Dwight's entire character, who's basically given up his entire life and dreams to care for his younger brother. Thomas, suffering from some sort of vampirism, can't leave the house during the day and requires constant care separate of the murders. And that's really taken a toll on Dwight, who just wants to leave all of this behind and leave this town and start his own life. And it explores the very real-world emotional violence that Jesse commits on him in order to get him to stay. She's the colder, more domineering of the three siblings, and she uses real psychological abuse tactics to keep Thomas in line and keep Dwight from leaving and keep their family unit together. It's the harsh, brutal look at the nature of abusive relationships, especially in a familial setting, that make the horror of this film. The vampirism isn't the horror, it's just the catalyst for the horror. There's violence, there's gore, there's blood drinking, but all that stuff is supplementary to Dwight's struggle against the things that he's, at least on some level, being manipulated to do. It's all tackled with this lo-fi, dreary aesthetic that adds to the melancholy of it all. Everything feels cold and washed out and gray, and there's this overall air of depression to the whole piece. There's no joy to be found anywhere in the visuals of this film, but that is kind of the point, and that doesn't rob the movie of being a wonderful experience. And I really loved this movie and its honest depiction of abusive and controlling family bonds and how grounded it treats something like vampirism, approaching it like a real disease instead of the usual, like, undead nonsense. It's genuinely moving, it's heavy, and it's emotional, and I really, really appreciated it for the small little indie horror film that it was. If you're in the mood to feel some feelings, I'd really recommend checking it out. It's a nice change of pace from something insane like Malignant, and I think it pairs nicely if you need something to come down from the high of watching that film. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. Patreon link is in the description. 31 nights of Halloween are coming up. Movie nights are coming up in October. I'm trying to get all my shit settled by then so that I can have fun with you all, because I really want to do that. I've been feeling extremely lonely lately. So click the Patreon link down below if you want to join in. Be like any of these cool people right here. I would really appreciate it. Even if you don't, though, thank you so much for watching anyway, and I will see you all very soon.